And you see, in the way of giving it back to God, not only will God give you more, but also it will inspire other people. Because if you just say, oh wow, I achieved all my goals, I did it all by myself, this is everything I've done, then people will just kind of feel like, oh, well, that just works for you, that person just managed to do it. But then if you say, I achieved all my goals through God, then that will inspire someone else, because they will now think, okay, maybe God can help me as well. And they'll think, oh, maybe God can help me, like God helped that person. But if you just say, oh, I did it all myself, I achieved all this by myself, well, you know that you didn't, because there were times when you were crying to God, or times you were praying and things were going really bad in your life. But the thing is, when it comes to like speaking to other people, you would just say, oh yeah, I did it all myself. But that's not even true. Like, God made it possible for you to do those things. So it's really important to express gratitude to God, and also to share that with other people, so that they will see that in the same way that God transformed your life and helped you to achieve your goals and your dreams, that it will also happen for them as well. So it can be a really big encouragement. Okay, and this brings us to the final point, which is judgment. So I found that as one gets closer to God, they actually judge less. So as you get closer to God, you judge people less. And rather than judging, you save that energy, that judgmental energy, for yourself, working on self-development and self-improvement. And also, in terms of others, you judge them less, but you pray for them and you love them more. So a lot of people, right, as they get closer to God, they actually become more judgmental. But that's totally wrong, because you're not qualified to judge. None of us are qualified to judge. Yeah, we can give advice and we can say, that's wrong, you shouldn't be doing that. But you cannot judge another person. As in, you cannot judge another person, because you're not qualified to do that. Only God can judge. All we are qualified to do is to maybe give advice, to help, to love, and to pray. Those are the main things that you can do, and maybe to support as well. Okay, so I'm going to give an analogy, right? Just imagine you walk into a room and a movie is playing and you haven't watched that movie from the beginning, and you just see a short clip. It's easy to judge those people in the clip, because you haven't watched the movie from the beginning, and you might think, oh, why is she running? Why is that person running? Oh, why is she shouting? What happened? But then if you rewind and if you watch that movie from the beginning, you can understand why that person's running or why that person's shouting, because you have the context and you have the background. And I found a lot of the time we are judging someone based on a short clip of what we see of them, but we have not actually seen from the beginning. We've not seen what they've been through, we've not seen their life and stuff. So that's why when I say we're not qualified to judge, it's true. We're not qualified, because God sees everything, whereas we're just judging that person on what we've seen in a very short clip. So that's why it's important not to judge. And the sad thing is, right, from my observations, folks that say they are close to God, they tend to do the most judging. And that's the scary thing, because if you are close to God, you wouldn't be judging, but rather you would be spending time praying for those people that you judge, So I just think you've got to be really careful not to judge other people and to just focus on yourself. In the scriptures it says something like, why are you looking at a small speck in someone else's eye, when you have a log in your own eye? And that's the thing, like, a lot of people, right, they have a forest, they have like a log, they have a forest in their own eye, and then they're looking at someone else that just has a speck. And you've got to be really careful that you don't fall into that trap, because that would be foolish to be judging other people when you yourself are not even living according to your own standards or your own judgment. So I think in terms of getting close to God, it's really important to do lots of self-reflection and take accountability for your own actions, and really look at the person in the mirror first, It's really important that you look at the person in the mirror and try to change the person in the mirror before trying to judge other people or trying to change other people. Oh yeah, and also another analogy regarding judging. So the previous point was just saying how it's important not to judge others, but also if you find yourself being judged, sometimes that can actually pull you away from God, because other people are judging you, and you might be feeling like you're trying really hard to live a good life and stuff, but people are still judging you and saying you're not doing good enough, and that can make you feel inadequate and make you feel lesser. But I just thought of this analogy, right? So imagine like a basketball game or a football game, and you have the players, and the players are playing and stuff. You will have those referees on the sidelines, and the referees will be like, oh yeah, you need to run faster, you need to do it this way. They'll be giving them tips and stuff. But those referees, they are not in the game, they are not playing, they're just giving advice. Run faster, do this, do that. And that's what happens a lot of the time. A lot of the time, people are trying to give advice from the sidelines, and they're trying to tell you what to do, but they are not in the game. They are really not in the game at all. And that's why you've got to kind of be careful, because it's like the referees will tell the players, oh yeah, move faster, run faster. But then if they come into the game, they may not even be able to run at all. And that's why you've got to be careful, because people will judge you, and they'll judge your life, and they'll say things like, oh, you should be doing this, you should be running faster, you should be here, you should be there. But the truth is, it's easy to give that advice and it's easy to be the referee, but when you're actually in the game, you see what's really happening, and you see that, yeah, it's one thing to say run faster, but when it comes to actually doing the running, it's a different story. So my point is that just don't allow people to put you off when they are not actually in the game, and they're not in your life, and they are not part of the game. Yeah, that is basically my point. Like, there's nothing wrong with giving advice if it's from a loving place and stuff. Okay, so that was the end of this video. I will be back with another topic. We'll be switching the topic slightly, and we'll talk about some different things. So yeah, please stay tuned. If you like this podcast, don't forget to like. Don't forget to smash that subscribe button if you have not already smashed it. And yeah, there'll be more from me soon. I hope you're having a great day and a great week. Stay tuned. Bye bye.